Hi, Sarah, and thanks for joining us today to talk about BI on the cloud.
Hi, Andrew.
Last session that the sellers listened to, Edmund discussed the general benefits of cloud deployments. Can you talk to us a little bit more specifically about Cognos BI in the cloud?
Yes, so absolutely. So regardless of what type of cloud deployment it is from a BI perspective, there's definitely some value to be had when you actually implement Cognos BI in the cloud. First of all, faster time to value for your BI deployment. So basically, if you're going to deploy it in a cloud environment, you can get an environment up and running in much less time than a traditional on-site deployment. We've seen instances where it's less than an hour, so that's pretty significant. In addition, you're reducing your chance of errors in your BI deployment and implementation because what you have is a pre-configured, pre-tuned, pre-tested stack, and that eliminates the errors that are traditionally inherent with your manual steps that you usually do. Additionally, you reduce the costs. In many cases, you have no hardware to purchase or maintain, so therefore you're really reducing your capital expenditures. Additionally, the automated integration of the required component removes the complexity of you having to ensure that all these necessary pieces work together. And lastly, you're removing the common barriers inherent with standard BI deployments in terms of time, effort, and cost because of the rapid provisioning of your infrastructure. Again, no installation and configuration, so you're reducing the effort there. And from a cost perspective, you're reducing the cost of, for example, server and storage utilization because you're pooling your resources in the cloud.
Oh, that sounds really compelling. What does IBM have in terms of BA offerings on the cloud?
So right now, we currently have 3 offerings from a BA perspective. We have 2 for Cognos BI and 1 for SPSS. And so if you go to our website, you can get more information on that. But today we're going to focus on the 2 offerings for BI.
Okay. What about a private cloud offering?
Yes, so we do have a private cloud offering. It's called IBM Smart Analytics Cloud. It's an IBM offering. It delivers BI and analytics at the customer's location in a private cloud deployment. It's made up of a combination of hardware, software, and services so that we can deliver to the customers a complete solution at their site. This initial offering of Smart Analytics Cloud is geared towards large customers who are looking to use BI for competitive advantage, etc., and it focuses on supporting large multi-tenant install base of user, which basically means it's supporting many users across many lines of business. The BI and analytics services is provided by Cognos BI. The hardware is provided by STG, and IBM Services is also involved, and they bring skilled implementation teams on site to conduct knowledge transfers as well as create and deploy the solution and ensure success beyond the initial engagement.
And do we have any examples of people using this or organizations using this?
Yeah, so the most famous example that we have right now is Blue Insight, which everybody should be familiar with. A lot of information on the website, but Blue Insight is the world's largest private cloud solution. And so far it's resulted in $23 million in savings from an IBM perspective. And, that's actually very huge. It's a very compelling use case that can be applied to many businesses. So I would recommend that everybody read about that. It's some great information.
And I've used some of the services on that platform also for some of the reporting that I need to use to produce some management reports for my chain of.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I know a lot of people do that. I know a lot of people who are actually using Blue Insight for doing their analytics as well.
Do we have any other cloud offerings?
We do. So we have what we're calling a hosted private cloud offering, and that's Cognos BI on IBM Smart Cloud Enterprise. So what this solution allows you to do is basically create a Cognos BI dev and test environment and have it standing up in less than an hour, and that's pretty amazing. So this offering, you need to bring your own BI license to this deployment. And like I mentioned, you can have it up and running in just a few clicks away. You provision Cognos BI. You're developing in less than an hour.
In the interview we'll be doing later on with Adam Sapersky, he actually has a demonstration that he wants to show during that interview. So that'll kind of show the fact that you're able to really, with a few clicks, have that Cognos deployment up and running.
But it's also on our website as well, so people can see.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, the Smart Cloud Enterprise?
Yeah, so IBM Smart Cloud Enterprise, so it's basically a cloud infrastructure as a service. It's basically designed to provide extremely fast access to security-rich enterprise-class virtual environments, especially well-suited for development and test activities. There's many benefits associated with that. First of all, you're reducing your capital and operating costs because you're not having to invest in the hardware, the software, and as well as trying to work with all the configuration of trying to get everything up and running. And then again, it allows you to provision your applications much, much, much quicker. Saves you on servage and storage costs because again, you're using the pooling that the cloud is very, very well known for.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the other brands are starting to leverage that IBM Smart Cloud Enterprise platform also. In terms of kind of how it's actually priced or how the payment model works, how does that actually work?
As I mentioned before, the Cognos BI image, you need to bring your own software license, but you will need to pay for usage on the IBM Smart Cloud Enterprise. So the customers can pay for their compute time in two ways on Smart Cloud Enterprise. You can basically prepay using reserved capacity on these virtual machine resources, as we talked about, or you can pay as you go by the minute. And again, you can do two ways. Bring your own license. That's what the model we're using for Cognos BI, or other pieces of software as well. You can pay as you go by the hour. So again, just a reminder that for Cognos BI, it is bring your own license. So you pay for your perpetual license, and you bring that and use that on the IBM Smart Cloud Enterprise.
Let's say you're on an escalator. You got 10 seconds to kind of give the pitch to someone that you're on that escalator with. What would you tell them?
Well, the whole beauty, and I think we've hit on this many times, in talking to you, is the fact that you can get your BI environment up and running in less than an hour. I mean, that's amazing to be able to do that, because when you think about it, if you're trying to stand up a BI environment, you have your infrastructure to worry about. You need to get a server, you need to get storage, you need to get everything installed, configured, etc. That can take weeks. So just by the fact that the Cognos BI image is available on this infrastructure, which is the Smart Cloud Enterprise, you're up and running in less than an hour. You're reducing your costs significantly. The payback time is much greater than if you invested in the hardware specifically for that application. And again, you remove the barriers common to standard BI deployments, which is basically time, effort, and cost.
Can you talk a little bit more about some of the benefits from an IT perspective?
What we're seeing is, from an IT perspective, the most notable, again, is the time that it takes to actually stand up an environment. That's huge. The second one that I think really stands out is the cost. Because when you're looking at storage and server utilization, if you're standing up a single environment, you're making an investment for a specific application. So when you look at it, if you're not using that application to its fullest, you're not using that server and storage, that remains idle. So if you go into a cloud environment and you're pooling your resources, you're seeing significant increase in your server and storage utilization, which is going to reduce your cost dramatically. Additionally, we're seeing payback period in the terms of months, right? Because you're not making that initial investment in all the hardware and the software.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about the Smart Cloud Enterprise and the other private offerings that we have. In terms of the image that a customer will get, what exactly is on that image once it's provisioned?
If we look at the components of the Cognos BI image in the IBM Smart Cloud Enterprise, it includes the traditional BlueStack infrastructure that you're going to get, regardless of where you actually deploy. So you've got your Cognos BI, you've got your DB2, you've got WAS, you've got your, Red Hat Linux. And basically, you get all of the things BI that you're familiar with the exception of Lotus connections. But everything else is pretty much standard fare. And we're bringing up data centers all the time. So, we've got data centers in the U.S., Asia. We've got a couple in Europe as well.
So I guess with that, we've run out of time. But I'd like to thank you for your time today and for talking to us all about how we can use BI in the cloud.
Great. Thank you, Andrew.